An active Amber Alert this morning. Police are searching for 13-year-old Olivia Kimbrough. New updates from police about the man seen in this picture with Kimbrough.
And it's a lovely sight to see a little rain on the radar. I'll let you know if you'll be able to see some this morning. If not, another chance on Sunday. We'll walk through that coming up.
And gun violence debate. Today, local youth will lead an event in Durham, sharing their experiences with shootings, the issues they hope to highlight. WRAL News at 8 on Fox 50 starts in about 30 seconds.
At Leith Honda in Raleigh and Auto Park Honda in Cary, we make your buying process easy. And with every new car purchase, you'll enjoy complimentary oil changes and exceptional service. It's no wonder we've earned so many 5-star reviews. You'll also get peace of mind pricing with every used vehicle, and if it's not the perfect fit, no problem. Bring it back within 3 days for an easy exchange. Visit our showroom at Auto Park Honda in Cary or Leith Honda in Raleigh. It's easier here.
Live from WRAL News headquarters in Raleigh, your number one source for local news. WRAL News, coverage you can count on.
Good morning, I'm Ken Smith. Glad to be with you on this 8 o'clock hour here on Fox 50. So let's get over to meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. The WRAL Severe Weather Center is tracking that green stuff on the radar. My goodness.
Oh, it's been almost 2 weeks since we saw any rain on the radar, and that happened Easter Sunday, and we only saw officially 1/10 of an inch at RDU out of that. But we have another chance for Sunday, and this is just a quick sprinkle, a quick little shower. It rolled through Durham, it moved through Henderson and Oxford, as well as Roxborough. You could see it in Lewisburg. You can see it in Warrenton, but again, it's going to be quick. It'll last 10 or 15 minutes and again, bring us about 1/10 of an inch of rain, and that's all. Look at it, just a tiny little thing moving through Durham. That's headed over towards Falls Lake right now, and we're going to be finished with this most likely by around 10 or 11 o'clock this morning. It looks dark and foreboding there in Durham, doesn't it? And you can see the sidewalks and streets in front of the DPAC are wet, so the rain actually reached the ground. 66 is our current temperature. We're in the mid-60s this morning, but we do climb to 90 degrees this afternoon. It won't quite reach a record, but it'll feel very much like it did yesterday. Once our little band of rain moves out for today, it's going to be a very hot Saturday, and then another chance of more widespread rain Sunday, but I'll show you why not to expect too much out of that coming up. Ken?
All right, Elizabeth, happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center. We're starting with that southern loop of the Beltline, I-40 and Lake Wheeler Road. You can see the bumper-to-bumper traffic there this morning. So really, you're looking at an 8-minute delay on that southern loop of the Beltline. And but if you're coming in from Garner, Johnston County this morning, no delays between I-40 and Highway 36. We're seeing some delays on that northern loop of the Beltline as well. Those are the westbound lanes coming toward us. So as we widen out the view, give you a look at the entire loop. Right now, you're looking at a 7-minute delay coming in on that northern loop of the Beltline. Of course, you're getting ready to head out the door. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3. I want to get to our big story this morning, an Amber Alert for a 13-year-old girl. Morehead City Police are looking for Olivia Kimbrough. She's about 5 feet tall, weighing about 125 pounds. She has blonde hair with faded pink streaks and green eyes. She was last seen wearing a black shirt and black pants. Now, investigators say they've identified this man but have not released his name. This security camera image is the last known sighting of them together. The man is described as 5 feet tall, 6 inches, weighing about 200 pounds. He has several tattoos down both arms. Authorities also shared a photo of the vehicle in which they could be traveling, a white Chevy Equinox. If you see them, you're encouraged to call 911. Of course, we'll keep you updated during this newscast and on WRAL.com. A statewide burn ban in effect right now. It's in places as crews fight thousands of fires all across the state. Severe and extreme drought conditions are making it easier for these fires to start and spread. Let's bring in WRAL Ali Cadillabar this morning in just a little bit. But first, the WRAL Breaking News Tracker saw one such fire this morning. Crews in Raleigh worked to put out a brush fire on Brentwood Road. That's near Capitol Boulevard. This happened around 3 o'clock this morning. Ali Cadillabar is joining us now. People will be asked to just stop, not even try to burn anything today, Ali.
Yeah, for sure, Ken. And the park just reopened within the past 30 minutes, and we can see that even the trail is still closed. I did speak with an employee who said the trail is going to remain closed for a while. They still have a lot of work to do. That brush fire did cause some damage here at the park. Now, this is video from Sky 5. It shows the flames in the tree line near a walking path. Crews use bulldozers to clear vegetation and prevent spreading. Officials say the drought likely fueled the fire, and park rangers even evacuated people. We spoke with a woman who was at the park when she noticed the smoke.
I saw the fire you could see it on the ground in the woods coming towards the park. We were just enjoying the breeze and the beautiful day and the low humidity. And then the fire came very quickly.
Yeah, the fire came very quickly. Luckily, they were able to put it out very quickly as well. Now, this is one of more than 500 fires across the state over the past 3 weeks. One of the fires that burned these fires burning 2,200 acres, again, across the state. Now, Lake Crabtree County Park did open before 8 a.m. this morning, and we know that employees are now assessing the damage and making sure that everything is okay. They did say they did have a lot of work to do. Of course, we're going to be following this throughout the day. Reporting live in Wake County, Allie Cadlebar, WRAL News.
Well, here's something to keep in mind. Monday, many Wake County residents will be limited on how much water they can use and when, for the first time in nearly 20 years. Now, local landscapers are sharing ways to prevent your yard from dying out.
Adjust your timers, raise your mowing heights, try to keep as much, biomass there to keep the ground from drying out, as well as consider applying 2 to 3 inches of mulch to kind of retain that moisture before any restrictions occur.
Yeah, that was William Charping from Rupert Landscape. He goes on to explain the mulch protects the ground from the drying effects of the sun. That is a good weekend project for anyone worried about garden beds. And here's a look at those upcoming water use restrictions. Raleigh water customers will only be allowed to use sprinklers between midnight and 10 a.m. Homes with odd-numbered addresses can water on Tuesdays, even-number addresses on Wednesdays. Violators will be given a warning. Now, after that, fines will start at about $50 and will increase with each offense. Look, today, young people in Durham will hold a gun violence awareness event. They plan to share their stories in terms of witnessing or being a victim of a shooting. WRAL's Kirsten Clark is at North Carolina Central University this morning, where that event will happen. And Kirsten, we have new data about shootings in Durham.
Yes, Ken, we've heard a public outcry from so many people here in Durham who say they're just tired of the violence. Now, this is that data from the Durham Police Department, and it shows year-to-date shooting numbers. So let's take a closer look at those numbers. As of April 11th, the data shows that the number of shootings is down at 132 so far this year compared to 144 this time last year. Now, the number of people shot is up at 54, with 10 of them fatal compared to 35 people shot and 5 killed this time last year. And so far this year, 10 of the people shot in Durham were between the ages of just 6 and 20 years old. The city, county, and community are working together on a violence reduction plan aimed at lowering those numbers. But the organizer of today's symposium says the youth needs to be a part of that conversation, sharing their experiences and telling officials what they want to see change.
The urgency is real. We cannot wait for another tragedy. We have to respond now. We have to be proactive. And seeing the gun violence that's impacted our kids, the kids are getting younger and younger.
So the Unmuted Youth Leaders Against Gun Violence Symposium starts at 10 o'clock this morning here on the campus of North Carolina Central University. It's at the Hubbard-Totten building, so that's just a few hours away at this point. That will take place until 2 o'clock this afternoon. Live in Durham, Kirsten Clark, WRAL News.
Hunger Games actors in jail this morning accused of shooting at a vehicle in Raleigh. Ethan Jamison faces 3 counts of assault with a deadly weapon with intent to kill. This happened at late March. Raleigh police say he had been riding an electric bicycle when he shot at a vehicle with 3 people inside. WRAL spoke with a man who said Jamison tried to throw his bike at him.
And so I'm like, oh, so he's trying to block the road off. He's going to throw something at my truck. And that's when we start to see him like kind of lifting his arms a little bit. If I ended up stopping and not going into the opposite lane, I don't know what would have happened, honestly.
Jamison's last acting role happened in 2013. His next court appearance is scheduled for April 30th. Well, several people are facing charges in a Moore County drug bust. 7 people were arrested during a joint operation yesterday. Deputies teamed up with probation and parole officers to search several homes. They found drugs like meth, fentanyl, heroin, and cocaine. Each of the 7 suspects face various drug charges. NC State students are rallying around their friend who was hit by a car on Hilton Head Island in South Carolina. Braden Bulger is still in the hospital days later. Now his fraternity brothers at Sigma Phi are washing cars to raise money. Every dollar donated is going toward his recovery. Bulger was hit while crossing the street after fraternity formal.
He's a great guy, probably one of the most put together kids that I know. I mean, no one deserves this, but especially not Braden.
South Carolina State Highway Patrol says no arrests have been made. They're asking people to look out for this gray or silver SUV with damage to the front end. And it's a special night for a local charity. Raleigh's Union Station will host the annual Safe Child Gala. The event will feature an Italian dinner and live and silent auctions. All proceeds benefit Safe Child, which works to prevent child abuse. I have the honor of returning as MC for this event. April, by the way, is Child Abuse Prevention Month. Time now 8:11, still ahead, drought impact differences. Why people in Cary and Apex are not likely to face any new water restrictions. What town leaders are saying about their water supply during this drought season. Also, the Q Grass Festival is coming back to Raleigh. The annual celebration takes over Fayetteville Street with music and food. Details of that event and your other weekend best bets ahead in our Out and About segment. Let's welcome back to Rogers Elizabeth.
And we've got a weak system that's crossing the area right now. It's brought a few showers to our northern counties. And take a look at Franklinton. Big dark cloud off in the distance. I'll let you know if you'll see any rain today. And then we do have a better chance Sunday. We'll walk through that coming up. It's just a tiny sliver of rain up here in our northern counties. We'll take everything we can get. Probably only going to be about 1/10 of an inch, but it's kind of nice to see something green showing up on the radar. We have rain from Falls Lake all the way up to South Hill right now, and it may be that that Franklinton is next. Actually, a little bit of lightning showing up there just north of Franklinton. So we are looking at a big dark cloud headed toward Franklinton right now. So you can expect just a quick little band of rain to move through. This all moves out well before lunchtime, and again, it's not going to bring us a whole lot of rain. It shouldn't interrupt the Bulls game this evening. Temperatures will feel nice 6 p.m. Temperatures in the mid-80s. We will see a high of around 90 for it today. Tailgating Saturday. Keep in mind that it is going to be a hot day. Highs this in the afternoon, right about game time, will be in the mid-90s, but at noon, right around 86. And we're looking at a chance of rain on Sunday. Ken?
All right, Elizabeth, checking your morning commute. We're keep monitoring this southern loop of the Beltline. We usually see this type of congestion this time of the morning. This is I-40 and Lake Wheeler Road. The westbound lane's moving away from us this morning. And as jammed up as that looks, you're only looking at a 2-minute delay. It was a 1-minute delay. And depending on where you're coming from, because no delays between Highway 36 and the Beltline coming in from the Garner-Johnston County area, you might want to hit the northern loop of the Beltline just to be on the safe side. But you're getting ready to head into the car. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3. One of the biggest projects for Helene recovery is adding a new chapter. State DOT crews began placing permanent concrete along I-40 near the Tennessee line. The $1 billion project to fully repair the interstate will take another 2 years, though. Right now, only one lane is open in each direction with a reduced limited speed limit. We looked at all angles of Tropical Storm Helene recovery in our recent documentary. You can watch Helene, What We Lost, What We Found on the WRAL YouTube page whenever you get a chance. Well, Raleigh water starts restrictions Monday, but not everyone in Wake County is under those water restrictions. Cary and Apex rely on Jordan Lake for their water supply. Both towns have year-round water conservation rules in place. The Jordan Lake water level is not as low as Falls Lake at this point. Apex town leaders say the water supply is actually at a surplus right now.
The Cape Fear River Basin, which serves Jordan Lake, is actually the largest watershed in North Carolina. So we're fortunate that even a small amount of rain has a significant impact on our ability to serve through that water supply.
You can find in-depth conversations on the severe drought, water restrictions, and how we got here on the WRAL YouTube page. Just go to the homepage and search drought. April is a busy month for festivities and fun, and it's time to look at WRAL's Out and About Best Bets. Let's start in downtown Raleigh. The North Carolina Q-Grass Festival returns tomorrow. The Pit will be providing barbecue, and there'll be 2 stages of music, a draft beer tent, and a silent auction. It runs from noon until 6 tomorrow evening on Fayetteville Street. Also tomorrow, you can celebrate Earth Day with the Great Raleigh Cleanup. First, there will be a morning yoga. Then from 11 to noon, community trash pickups will be held. After the clean, the Earth Yay Fair will feature eco-friendly vendors, local farmers, and sustainability activities. Also tomorrow, the first of several races in the annual Relay for Life will be held at Smithfield High School. The race celebrates cancer survivors and remembers those who lost their lives to this disease. It is presented by the American Cancer Society. WRAL is a proud community partner of this event. Of course, for more weekend activities, just visit WRAL.com and search Out and About. Now, we are in desperate need of some rain, and we are not expecting a lot of it in the short term. Let's bring in meteorologist Grant Skinner there in the WRAL Severe Weather Center. Grant, it looks like we could be a bit wetter for the end of the month.
Yeah, hopefully. You know, we like to look at long-term trends, especially in a time like this when the drought is so severe, to see if we have any hope for rain towards the end of this month. And you can see the precipitation outlook from the Climate Prediction Center has a good portion of the southeastern U.S. and also back towards Texas and towards parts of the Rockies and back towards the west as well, with the area of possible wetter weather, which that would be, I mean, even the possibility is something that we like to look at because we do need a lot of the rain. You can see it covers the entire area. This light green means, again, just possibility for wetter weather. And looking long term, this is one of our forecast models, the American model. Looking to the north and west, this is our front for the weekend. Not a ton of rain from this, but some isolated showers. Drier for the middle portion of the week, but then next weekend, looks like we could have a better rain chance like Saturday into Sunday, so watching that very closely. Then maybe a little bit of rain for the middle of next week. The European model shows something similar. That's why we're watching these trends. Again, not an exact timing of it, but just kind of gives an idea. And a little bit of rain this weekend. The middle of next week looks pretty dry, but then next weekend, we could see a better rain chance Saturday into Sunday. It's been trending wetter here. And then for the middle of the following week, maybe some more wetter weather. So Elizabeth, maybe multiple chances for rain, hopefully, crossing the fingers for the end of the month. We need a lot of rain. I mean, 8 to 10 inches we've been talking about.
Yeah, that's going to be tough to get, in our current pattern. But you and I were just sitting there looking at the European model just a little while ago, getting pretty excited about it. But what can happen, of course, we're looking at something that's, 7 to 10, 15 days out. And the models, get a much better handle on what could happen the closer we get to that time period. And lately, out in the future, we see rain. But once we get close to that particular date, it just has been fizzling out. So hopefully this time it's going to come through for us. A quick little shower this morning in our northern counties. The heat is still our biggest story, looking at 90 this afternoon and mid-90s for tomorrow. Big cool down happens Sunday with a more powerful front. Here's what's happening right now from the northern part of Wake County all the way up the I-85 corridor. We're seeing just this very narrow band of rain. There's been a little bit of lightning with it. Just north of Wake Forest is sort of where the end of that line is. Coming through most likely Lewisburg and Franklin. You're going to see a quick shower around Warrenton. You may see it as well. It might make it all the way to Roanoke Rapids, but it's a tiny little narrow band. It'll come through between 5 and 10 minutes and be done. It moves on out, and we're looking at, of course, sunshine for much of the remainder of the day today. And then our next best chance of rain comes on Sunday. The front comes through in the morning, but we could see some showers and thunderstorms trailing after it during the afternoon. Temperatures with that front Sunday afternoon will be much, much cooler. Here's where that front is right right now. Doesn't look impressive with a whole lot of rain right now, but take a look. The cold front comes through first thing in the morning, and then we see some scattered rain develop along it around 2 or 3 in the afternoon, and we could continue to see that on and off through around maybe 4 or 5 o'clock. Still not likely to be a whole lot of rain. It's probably going to be 1/10 of an inch or less. So here's a look at the weekend. We'll be dry this afternoon, 90, 94 Saturday and dry, but 76 on Sunday with that slight chance of a shower or storm, and then turning much cooler. Our morning low Monday and Tuesday in the 40s in the Triangle, could be in the 30s in our northern counties with a chance of some patchy frost, Ken.
That is what's happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center. That's southern loop of the Beltline. Things are getting a little better, even though it looks heavily congested right now. You're looking at I-40 and Lake Wheeler Road. Those are the westbound lanes moving away from us. So here's what we're looking at. Just a 1-minute delay, so it's not bad, really. You're coming in from the Garner-Johnston County area, no delays between Highway 36 and the Beltline whatsoever. And if you're navigating I-40 westbound through Wade Avenue, that's delay-free as well. Here's what we're looking at in terms of I-440 and Ridge Road. You can see what I'm talking about in terms of the bumper-to-bumper traffic. Not really seeing that much on that northern loop of the Beltline as well. So here's what it looks like. Really and truly, you're just looking at a 2-minute delay on that northern loop of the Beltline. So either way you look at it is a situation where you're looking at very little to no delays in all of our major routes, sort of a 3-minute delay coming in from Wake Forest, and just a 1-minute delay if you're coming in from Nidell at this hour. You're getting ready to head into the car. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3. All right, coming up, of course, we're under a burn ban this morning, and we're going to tell you about why you need to avoid lighting anything this time of the year because of that burn ban that's in place. More news, weather, and traffic after the break.
As you get into your car, tune to WRAL News Plus on your radio. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM, in Durham 96.5 FM, and everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
Good morning at 8:26. I'm Ken Smith. Depending on where you are, you might be seeing some wet weather. Let's get over to meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner in the WRAL Severe Weather Center, tracking it all for us.
The big picture up here across Franklin County, north up toward South Hill, we have this little band of rain that's showing up, and you can see that. I'm going to zoom in right here, and you can see there's Franklinton, maybe even a little rumble of thunder, but it's a teeny tiny little band, and the rain is actually falling in Franklinton right now. You can see the wet streets there. It's likely to all be through our viewing area before lunchtime, and that's going to be it for the day today. So we're still looking at a hot afternoon with a high of 90, partly cloudy skies later on this afternoon. Ken?
This morning, starting with the look at the major routes heading into the Raleigh-Wake County area. And really and truly, we're seeing very little to no delays right now. You're looking at a 2-minute delay coming in from Wake Forest, just a 1-minute delay coming in from Nidell and I-87. And similarly, no delays whatsoever between Highway 36 and the Beltline if you're coming in from the Garner-Johnston County area. And similarly, we're seeing very little to no delays on any of those major routes heading into Durham, short of a 4-minute delay for Fins and Wake Forest coming in on Highway 98. You're getting ready to head into the car. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3. I want to tell you about an Amber Alert active right now for a 13-year-old girl from Morehead City. Olivia Kimbrough has blonde hair, faded blue pink streaks, and green eyes. Investigators have not shared the identity of the person she's with, but they do know that he is a suspect. If you see them, call 911. Crews in Raleigh worked to put out a brush fire on Goodwood Road near Capitol Boulevard around 3 o'clock this morning. We're still trying to figure out exactly what caused that fire. More news, weather, and traffic after the break.
Now, breaking news from WRAL. Coverage you can count on.
An Amber Alert. Authorities are searching for this missing 13-year-old girl in Morehead City. The new information we're learning with the man seen here with her in this picture.
And it's a tiny band of rain, but we're actually getting a little bit of shower activity in our northern counties. I'll let you know, even if you miss it this time, when we'll have another chance this weekend.
A popular park reopens. Lake Crabtree County Park welcoming back visitors this morning after a brush fire. The dry conditions that caused it to spread as investigators work to determine how that all started. So glad you're with us here in the 8:30 half hour. We've got lots to get to, and including some rain on the radar. Let's check in with meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner, tracking it all for us.
The last time we had rain on the radar was Easter Sunday, so it was almost 2 weeks ago. Just a tiny little band. And on Easter Sunday, officially at RDU, we saw 1/10 of an inch. There's going to be nothing officially at RDU out of this one because it's all been up to the north. We have some rain that's moving through Franklinton right now, up to the east of South Hill. Warrenton seeing some showers. It may hold together all the way up through Roanoke Rapids and into Halifax County. But again, it's a tiny little band from just north of Youngsville stretching northward. Lewisburg, you're likely to see some too. This is a look at Franklinton. The rain was coming down just 5 minutes ago, and it looks like it's already over, but it did leave some wet streets there. Our chance of rain is pretty much over by lunchtime. Again, it's just going to be up there in the north, and once it's gone, it's gone. So most of us are just seeing partly cloudy skies. Lunchtime temperature of 83 and a high of 90 degrees for this afternoon. We are looking at another chance for some rain on Sunday. This is a better chance for everyone to see it, but it'll still be only a small amount. I'll walk you through the timeline coming up. Ken?
8:31, Elizabeth. We're staying on top of that southern loop of the Beltline, but things are really beginning to ease up as we look live at I-40 and Lake Wheeler Road this morning. Those are the westbound lanes moving away from us, and no delays whatsoever on that southern loop of the Beltline and anywhere on I-40 this morning. You're coming in from Garner, Johnston County, or even navigating I-40 westbound through Wade Avenue, all delay-free. Similarly, on that northern loop of the Beltline, as we take a live look at I-440 and Ridge Road, the east-westbound lanes are coming toward us this morning, and really and truly, traffic is flowing at a nice steady clip. We're only seeing a little bit of a slowdown around the Capitol Boulevard exit, but really and truly, you're just looking at a 3-minute delay on that northern loop of the Beltline. So as we widen out the view, give you a look at some other major routes heading into the Raleigh-Wake County area. We're picking up a 3-minute delay coming in from Wake Forest and US 1, but all those other major routes, I-40 eastbound, US 1 coming in from Apex, I-87 coming out of Knightdale, delay-free at this hour. You're getting ready to head into the car. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3. Well, this morning, an Amber Alert is in effect. The Moorhead City Police Department looking for Olivia Kimbrough. She's 13 years old, about 5 feet tall, weighing about 125 pounds. She has blonde hair with faded pink streaks and green eyes. Kimbrough was last seen wearing a black shirt and black pants. Now, new this morning, investigators say identified this man as a suspect, but have not released his name. The security image is the last known sighting of both of them together. The man is described as 5 feet 6 inches tall, weighing about 200 pounds. He has several tattoos down both arms. Authorities also shared a photo of the vehicle in which they might be traveling, a white Chevy Equinox. If you have any information about their whereabouts, you're encouraged to call 911. Of course, we'll keep you updated during this newscast and on WRAL.com. New this morning, firefighters were called to a reported outdoor fire this morning in Raleigh. Crews were called out to Brentwood Road near Stony Brook Drive around 3 o'clock this morning. The WRAL breaking news tracker was there as firefighters was pulling hoses out of the woods. We were still trying to figure out exactly what started this fire and the amount of destruction it caused. The popular Wake County Park is back open this morning after brush fire shut it down yesterday afternoon. WRAL's Ali Catabar is live at Lake Crabtree County Park this morning. And Ali, park officials tell you there's one area that remains closed this morning.
Yeah, 2 trails that we know of so far, one of the nature trails and the lake trail. And you can see the cones here blocking it off, the trail closed sign as well behind me. Park employees, they're out assessing the damage this morning, and you can see some of that damage in this Sky 5 video of the brush fire yesterday afternoon. Crews used bulldozers to clear vegetation and prevent spreading. Officials say the dry, breezy conditions likely fueled the fire, and people were even asked to evacuate. We spoke with a woman who witnessed the response. She says it made her more aware of these dangerous conditions.
That really put it in perspective very quickly about how, I don't even know how it happened, but it was sudden and quick.
Unfortunately, the park employees I've spoken to this morning say that the cleanup will not be quick. They are going to have a lot of cleanup to do, some damage to assess as well. Again, 2 of those trails now closed this morning. We're working to find out when they're going to be back open. We're also working to find out the cause of that initial fire. Reporting live in Wake County, Ali Catabar, WRAL News.
Well, as our severe drought drags on, people all across Wake County are preparing for water restrictions. In less than 3 days, Raleigh water customers will be limited to how much water they can use and when, for the first time in nearly 20 years. Here's how it all breaks down in terms of the water restrictions. Starting Monday, customers will only be allowed to use sprinklers between midnight and 10 a.m. Homes with odd-numbered addresses can water on Tuesdays. Even-numbered addresses will water on Wednesdays. Violators will be given a warning. Now, after that, fines will kick in at about $50 to start with and increase with each offense. Well, happening today, young people in Durham will confront an urgent issue in the community. We're talking about gun violence. Local and state leaders will attend a Youth Leaders Against Gun Violence symposium where teens and students will share their own experiences and offer solutions. WRAL's Kirsten Clark explains this event comes as Durham has seen a spike in the number of people shot this year.
We've heard a public outcry from so many people here in Durham who say they're just tired of the violence. This is shooting data from the Durham Police Department that shows year-to-date numbers. So let's take a closer look at those numbers. As of April 11th, the data shows the total number of shootings is down at 132 so far this year, compared to 144 this time last year. The number of people shot is up at 54, with 10 of them fatal, compared to 35 people shot and 5 killed this time last year. So far this year, 10 of the people shot in Durham were between the ages of just 6 and 20 years old. The city, county, and community are working together on a violence reduction plan aimed at lowering those numbers. But the organizer of today's symposium says the youth needs to be a part of that conversation, sharing their experiences and telling officials what they want to see change.
The urgency is real. We cannot wait for another tragedy. We have to respond now. We have to be proactive and seeing the gun violence that's impacted our kids. The kids are getting younger and younger.
The unmuted Youth Leaders Against Gun Violence Symposium gets underway at 10 o'clock this morning here on the campus of North Carolina Central University. It'll be in the Hubbard Totten building, and it'll wrap up at 2 o'clock this afternoon. In Durham, Kirsten Clark, WRAL News.
Looking ahead, people will be gathering this weekend to remember the life of former Miss North Carolina Carrie Everett in her home state of Washington. There will be a memorial service for her there. Everett passed away on Easter Sunday after her fight with gastric cancer. She was just 22 years old. Everett was just the 4th black woman to hold her title after she won it back in 2024. Last July, she was diagnosed with a highly aggressive form of cancer in her stomach. A live stream of tomorrow's service in Washington will be available on YouTube. A memorial service in North Carolina is planned for next month. New developments overnight in the war on Iran. A 10-day ceasefire went into effect at midnight local time between Lebanon and Israel. The agreement comes after more than a month of war between Israel and the Iranian-backed militia group Hezbollah. Meanwhile, the U.S. military says it has turned back 13 ships since it launched its blockade of Iranian ports. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth says yesterday the U.S. is locked and loaded, his words, for more combat if Tehran does not agree to a peace deal. Pakistan's army chief also met with Iranian officials yesterday in a bid to extend that ceasefire. Well, gas prices here locally remain on a steady decline, according to new data from AAA this morning. The average for a gallon of gas in Raleigh is $3.85. Fayetteville, it's down 3 cents to $3.72, and over in Durham, it's at $3.93.
And Ken, right now in the WRAL Live Center, we are monitoring an investigation out of London near the Israeli embassy in Kensington Gardens. British counterterrorism officers are there examining the scene. I want to give you a live look from Sky News out of London. Why are they there? Well, police say an unnamed group claimed to have targeted the embassy with drones carrying dangerous substances. Now, police do say the embassy has not been attacked. They've been made aware of a video that's been shared online in which 2 drones were being handled by someone wearing a protective suit in the Kensington Gardens, which is near the embassy, and the video claims the embassy was the target. Kensington Gardens will be closed until further notice, but you can see the big law enforcement presence there as they search that scene.
We want to turn our attention now to the first round of the Stanley Cup playoffs coming to Raleigh tomorrow. Your Carolina Hurricanes are taking on the Ottawa Senators in Game 1. The Canes took to the ice for the first practice of the postseason yesterday. Carolina is the top seed in the Eastern Conference this year. The core of the team has been through a lot together and say they plan to lean on each other as they begin a quest for Lord Stanley's Cup.
Yeah, I think just that not much has changed within the group. I think we have guys that came in with playoff experience, and obviously the guys that stayed. We've been far enough, but not quite where we want to be. So just experience is a big thing, and especially for this group, I think we have a lot of it.
Aston Aho. Well, the puck drops tomorrow against Ottawa at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Game 2 will be Monday night at Lenovo Center, 7:30. Puck drops. Ottawa taking on the Canes again. And Thursday at 7:30 p.m. And Game 3 and 4 will be in Ottawa. Well, the Charlotte Hornets are one win away from the NBA playoffs, and now they know who they need to beat in order to get into the playoffs. Charlotte will head to Orlando tonight to take on the Magic. Orlando is fighting to stay alive after losing to the Philadelphia 76ers Wednesday night. Tonight's game starts at 7:30 p.m. Well, coming up at 8:41, water bankruptcy, drought concerns, and water demand are on the rise. The concerns experts have for the future and what they say should be done to keep our water sources from drying up. Also, trying to make ends meet, the struggle residents are facing when it comes to their energy bill and what one woman says she is running out of at this time.
And rain is falling in some of our counties that are under extreme drought right now. I'll let you know if you'll see any rain today and why you may have a better chance on Sunday. .45, we're taking a look at dual Doppler 5000 radar with just a small band of rain, a little bit of thunder and lightning with that. It's up north and east of the triangle right here in Lewisburg. We saw some rain in Franklinton. That stretches all the way up almost to Roanoke Rapids. You may see a quick sprinkle. It's likely to keep fizzling out as it moves toward the I-95 corridor. But again, we're seeing that rain in Lewisburg right now and a little bit of lightning associated with that. Here's a look at Lewisburg. The rain is coming down fairly heavily, but it's not going to last long. As a matter of fact, you can see a little blue sky off in the distance, but don't be surprised if you hear a little rumble of thunder. We're talking 1/10 of an inch or less with this for today, and that chance really tapers off by the time we get to maybe 11 o'clock this morning. So this afternoon, we'll see lots of sunshine, and we heat right back up to 90 degrees, similar to yesterday. Tomorrow will be even hotter, and then it's cooler on Sunday with a front, which we could also see some rain with. I'll show you the timeline coming up. Ken?
Happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center. I want to bring your attention to a route that heading to RDU International. We're getting reports that one lane is blocked right there at Airport Boulevard, right off of I-40 westbound, heading to the airport. You can see the airport right there in the upper right-hand corner. Right now, we're not picking up any delays on Airport Boulevard, but I'll keep an eye on it and let you know if that continues to affect your route, particularly if you have a flight out this morning. As we widen out the view, we're seeing very little to no delays on all of our major routes heading into the Raleigh-Ray County area. Well, the man who was fired as acting director of FEMA last year can get another chance at that role. Several sources say President Trump is planning to nominate Cameron Hamilton to lead the disaster relief agency. During Hamilton's first round in the role, the administration was trying to eliminate FEMA, but Hamilton clashed with then Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem and Special Government employee Corey Levensky. Hamilton was fired last May, a day after he testified in Capitol Hill advocating for FEMA to be saved. A man in Johnston County is accused of leaving a dog in a hot car. William Hill is charged with cruelty to animals. Police say he left his dog trapped inside a car outside the Johnston County Courthouse. After officers rescued the dog from the car, they arrested Hill. He posted his $250 bond. Well, as families face enough time with the drought and upcoming water restrictions, higher electric bills are another worry added to that list. Duke Energy wants to raise rates by 18% as families are already tightening their budgets. While the energy company does have an assistance program, it's only for those who make no more than $62,000 per year for a family of 4. Melanie Joseph has already cut extra costs such as streaming services, but says it's still not enough.
We have to, we'll budget what we think it's going to be, and then we'll get the bill, and it'll be like $100 more or $200 more. We're running out of corners to cut. When we have to look at the bills, how much gas we can put in the car, where we can go, where we can't go.
Duke Energy says so far this year it has distributed more than $1 million from its Share the Light fund, which customers can still contribute to each month to help their neighbors. Well, the return of Top Gun, actor Billy Crystal heading to Broadway and looking ahead to celebrating 50 years of Star Wars. As David Daniel with today's Hollywood Minute.
Another Top Gun movie is in the works. Paramount announced at CinemaCon Tom Cruise will return for Top Gun 3, which is now officially in development with a script underway. No word yet on a director, a plot, or a release date.
The audience pulls for them, they do that. I feel them.
Billy Crystal is heading back to Broadway this fall with a very personal show. Last year, he lost his family home of 46 years in the LA wildfires. He's turned his experience into a one-man show called 860, the street number of the house.
You can't put it into words how much the whole community means to me.
The Star Wars community is gathering in Los Angeles. The first Star Wars celebration in the U.S. in 5 years will be next April at the LA Convention Center. Tickets go on sale May 6th. 2027 marks the 50th anniversary of the first Star Wars film. Letting the Wookiee win in Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Oh man, that's been 50 years, amazing. Well, starting today, you can be one of the first to ride Pullen Park's new electric train. All day today through Sunday, people of all ages can head to the park to celebrate the new train. Tickets are $6 to $10 per person. Along with riding the train, there will be live music, a scavenger hunt, and a few performances as well. Well, the first ever Miss Bull City pageant today in Durham. It's happening at the Holton Career Center starting at 5 this evening. It's free to attend, by the way. Several teams will compete for the title, but it's not about beauty. The pageant focuses on community service and presentation skills. Audience members can vote live. The winner will receive a laptop for education. Let's go to meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner now at the WRAL Severe Weather Center, tracking another warm day. But depending on where you are, you're seeing some wet weather, Elizabeth.
That's right. We've had just a little band of rain move through our northern counties. It's still there. We're going to take a peek at it coming up. Most of us aren't seeing rain out of that, and we really need some. We could see some rain on Sunday, but a better chance for the following weekend, like the weekend of the 24th and 25th. So we'll be watching that closely. Again, little shower in our northern counties this morning, but then it's just going to be hot this afternoon. We'll see 90. We could be in the mid-90s on Saturday, so keep that in mind as you're making your plans. Also, the new drought monitor came out, and of course, we're looking at extreme drought. We already were seeing that from Rocky Mount to Roanoke Rapids, but the new drought monitor this week now covers Warrenton all the way over almost to Roxborough, most of Durham County, and the northern part of Wake County. So the areas actually that are seeing some rain this morning are the ones that just went under that extreme drought. More extreme drought across parts of the Piedmont and the mountains too, southern mountains from Asheville south and west. When are we going to get out of this drought? This is a look at a product or a forecast from the Climate Prediction Center, and they put this out, year round. It looks like we have the chance of the drought continuing through July across most of our viewing area. Already in place is a burn ban until further notice. This has been out for a week or so, and of course, we're looking at going underwater restrictions in Raleigh. Make sure you check out WRAL.com. It's very different based on which town or city that you're in, so make sure you check yours either on their website or, of course, WRAL.com to find out exactly what you need to know. Here's a look at what's going on right now. This tiny little shower, little thunderstorm right there in Franklinton, stretching up toward Roanoke Rapids. It is dissipating very quickly, but you can see it moving through Lewisburg, moving through Franklinton, and we'll take a look at the camera in just a second. Again, this is all likely to be over by around 11 o'clock. When we pulled the camera up just about 5 minutes ago, the raindrops were coming down, and it's already over. So again, just not seeing a whole lot of rain out there. Mid-60s right now. Tomorrow's high will be 94, but Sunday's front, which could bring some widespread but limited rain, will really cool us off into the 60s by Monday. Ken?
Well, it's been happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center. We want to get reports of here. Before we head to break, here's another look at your winning lottery numbers.